Now to the politics of trying to get peace in Syria. The so-called Geneva II conference, called for January, is aimed at getting both the Assad regime and the opposition to agree to a transitional government as a first step. But right now, the two sides are as far apart as ever, and crucially, it's not even clear who, if anyone, will attend from the much fractured opposition. Russia is a key backer of the Assad government. It was Moscow that engineered the deal to get him to give up his stash of chemical weapons, and it's Russia that continues to play a prominent diplomatic role in the region. So I asked Vitaly Churkin, Russia's ambassador to the United Nations, whether it can engineer a successful peace conference as well. Welcome to the program, Ambassador. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So here we have again the attempt to get a peace process on the way for Syria. But we don't even know who's actually going. Is that a little alarming? Even the special envoy couldn't say who's actually going from all the parties involved.
Well, this is precisely the problem, and this is the reason why it has not been possible to convene the conference till this point. And only yesterday the Secretary General was able to announce January 22 as the date for the convening of the conference. But still work needs to be done about the opposition, because there is no unity among the opposition, and various opposition groups do not recognize the right of the national coalition, which is usually referred to as the logical representative of the Syrian opposition, as their representative. And of course, for the conference to be successful, not only the opposition groups need to be constructively engaged, but also there must be acceptance among them that they are well represented. So some work still needs to be done, and we are participating in this work, because even though the United States said that they were going to bring the opposition to the table, we are also in the process of talking with various opposition groups in order to make sure that they do come to Geneva, they do come as united as possible, and they talk constructively on the basis of the Geneva Communique of 2012.
Well, if you had to bet right now, this peace conference is scheduled for about 2 months away. Do you think it'll happen, and do you think it'll be meaningful? I mean, uniting the opposition has been, attempted for the last 2.5 years. Do you think there'll be a meaningful conference?
My gut feeling is that it is going to happen this time, unless there is a major provocation. And what is disturbing is that we hear again a return to this conversation of changing things on the ground before the conference takes place. So the danger now is an effort by the opposition to reverse the military situation and to have some military gains, and then things can go badly, and in the absence of unity among the opposition, then the convening of the conference may be at risk.
All right, you talk about the military track and the opposition. Well, obviously also President Assad has very powerful friends, including you and Iran, and there is a lot of military activity on his side as well. Is President Assad expected to be part of a post-conference reality, or does the peace proposal envision him leaving power somehow after a peace deal?
Well, of course, there is nothing about him leaving power in the Geneva Communique, which is going to be the basis of the negotiations. But our answer to your question is that the Syrians must decide that themselves. They know that there is a Geneva Communique. They know that they need to talk about political transition. They know that they need to put together a transitional body by mutual agreement, including agreeing on the personalities. What is going to happen after that remains to be seen after they have had a chance to get into the negotiations with the support, hopefully, of key members of the international community. Russian support is going to be there, both for the government and for constructive participation of the opposition.
Given the fact that in Geneva, the world powers just signed an interim nuclear deal with Iran, is Iran invited to this Geneva II conference on Syria, and is that presence accepted by the United States and the other parties?
This is one of the important issues, because we believe that Iran should be invited. Kofi Annan, when he was special envoy of the Secretary General, believed that Iran should be invited. Now both Ban Ki-moon and Lakhdar Brahimi, Secretary General of the United Nations and Special Representative of the Secretary General for Syria, believe that Iran should be invited. But the United States is against. We think it makes no sense, because now the nuclear deal has been made. And where United States engaged Iran both multilaterally and bilaterally. And then, whether Iran is in the room or not of the conference, it's going to be a player in Syria. So it's better to have it in the room. It's better to have it support the deals which we hope will be reached in Geneva, rather than alienate Iran once again. You know, that mistake has been made a number of times before. Let's not repeat it in the context of the Geneva II conference.
Let me ask you then on specifically the nuclear issue. As you can see, this deal that's been signed has created a storm of opposition in Israel, in some parts of the Arab world, in the US Congress. What can you say about your confidence that this deal will be kept to, that Iran won't break out, that there is sufficient verification? Do you feel that?
Yes, we do. You know, it's because it's not a rhetorical deal. It's something which is setting in train very important steps from Iran and the international community in cooperation with Iran. The nuclear program of Iran, the enrichment program, will essentially be not stopped, but sort of not developed any further, and in some cases turned back. What I'm referring to is the intention of Iran to dilute some of the uranium which was enriched to 20%. New verification measures are being put in place. A joint commission is going to be established between the six and Iran, involving IAEA and its inspectors. So this is, I mean, the paper has been released. It's a pretty detailed and very serious deal, which I believe is a great achievement both for the six and for Iran. And it's particularly important that we are finally talking in practical things, and there is a real opportunity here to get rid of this specter of Iranian nuclear weapon. And if this is, if it were to happen, and we believe that there is a very good chance of that, then this threat to Israel, which has been hanging over their heads for such a long time, will be taken care of. So I think that the Israelis and other doubters should give everybody an opportunity, those who are involved in actual negotiations, to move ahead on this deal, and that might turn around the entire situation in the bigger region. Will have a positive impact on Syria, will hopefully have a positive impact on the Israeli-Palestinian track and entire situation in the Middle East. So we're really at a crucial point now, and we are very pleased and encouraged that we are beginning to turn away from the logic of confrontation and the use of military force to dialogue and involvement. This is something which Russia has been advocating for a long time.
Ambassador Churkin, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you, Christiane.